Well, if we're all sitting comfortably, let's begin. Sounds a bit Gardener's World, doesn't it? Good evening and welcome to Fizzy Brain, which is my stream where I basically spend a bit of time telling you lovely people what I've been working on. So my name is Aubrey Blakeledge. I'm a singer-songwriter, musician, yelling person, storyteller, that kind of thing. And this is a stream, podcast, YouTube, vanity project thing where I show you the extreme lengths that my weird little brain will stop me from doing actual work. Although, funny enough, in the new year, this procrastinating will become my actual work, which is quite a terrifying idea. But there we go. That's how the future's going on. So yesterday was my first storytelling stream, which was lovely. So a lot of my time was taken up doing that. But tonight is still, I thought it would be nice to continue doing these little things because a lot of things happened over the weekend. Which we'll come on to in a second. So this show thing is split into two parts. First one is what I'm trying to do, and two, what actually happened, or the things that I'm doing that didn't really help me do the things that I did instead of the things I was supposed to do. So first of all, what have I been working on? Well, like last week, I've been working on more of a Woodland Gothic thing because I've got a few dates left at the end of this year. I'm looking at my giant calendar over behind me on the wall. I've got one more show this week, which I'm preparing for, which is the Give a Gift to Southampton. So I did a few Christmassy numbers for that. I won't play them tonight, but one of them I won't play tonight. But I'm going to play a song that I promised that I would work on last week, that I'm actually going to work on this week, which I've worked on, which is an acoustic version of a Sweet Chunk song called "Come Back," which I'll play for you guys in a bit. There's another one that I've been working on, which I've gotten. It's not complete, but I'll play you guys a sketch of what I've got so far called "Sometimes, Always, Never," which I talked a little bit last week. And that's more of a sort of a foot stamping, hand clapping kind of thing. I've also been booking the artists for my Awkward Strawberry sort of cabaret club thing. And rather excitingly, so last week I mentioned the fact that one of the things I'm trying to do is in the way of sort of returning the favour of people supporting me over the years, that I've sort of hopefully returning the favour and supporting other musicians and my friends and upcoming musicians to play in Southampton and get to know new audiences and such. And so the thing that I tested earlier in the year was called the Awkward Strawberry Comedy Club, which was musical comedy in the Art House, a venue that's sadly no longer with us in Southampton. So working with the guys at the Hobbit pub in Southampton, I've changed it slightly from a comedy musical club thing to a sort of just a cabaret kind of oddities, generally quite light-hearted, and you know, there's lots of musical comedy there as well, because I think musical comedy gets left by the wayside. So there's going to be a lot of that going on, which is good fun. And I'm doing one of those the first Thursday of every month from April onwards, but I've got the first one for next year happening on the 14th of February. I've got some musicians coming down for that, but I've also been asked from the Two Bridges, if you remember the pub that I got locked out of a couple of weeks back. I've spoken to those guys, and they want me to do an Awkward Strawberry Club there as well. So potentially we could have a regular Awkward Strawberry Club in London. So it's one of those things. I'm not trying to sort of create an empire of strawberry fields all over the place, selling people illicit music and various other things. But I'm sort of hoping it would be a nice thing to have a couple of them around in different areas that we can share music and swap people around, and basically trying to bridge that gap between audiences that are feeling the pinch and trying to see new music and support new acts, but also helping the bands play gigs on Thursdays and irritating days like that. Just quick looking at the chat. Generation Rainbow says, "R.I.P. the Art House. It served us up many an interesting performance." Yeah, I completely agree. It's a damn shame that the Art House has gone. They do pop-ups, little pop-up events and such in a place called Planet Sounds in Southampton. under the name Bunker 157. I can never remember the number they use. Oddly, they didn't stick with the art house name, which is quite familiar and easy to remember. Instead, they call it a bunker something or other, and a lot of people don't realise it is the art house. So if you see events in Southampton under the name Bunker something something something, it's the art house guys doing a pop-up show in Planet Sound. So it's supporting a local musical business and also keeping that like DIY hippie punk vibe going, playing music. So they are good shows. It's that if you like the art house, it's the same levels of organised hippie chaos that you've come to love with the art house, but just not as frequent. But so I've moved across. Yes, that's it. Smoke and Hide's quite right. Bunker 178. That's the name. So if you're looking for events in Southampton, they'll Bunker 178. So they're doing events, and also hopefully Awkward Strawberry will pick up as well. I've pretty much got most of the headliners sorted out for all the dates, and I want to try and squeeze in some more artists as well. So yeah, from once I've got that sorted out, I will be putting what I'll do is on my Patreon anyway. I think once I've got all the artists sorted out for the second London show, I'm going to put a little thing up just saying these are the dates and these are the artists as a little preview, and then start the laborious task of setting up all the Facebook events, because people still use Facebook events, and if people use them, then I'll keep using them. So if they're helpful for people, I'll keep doing them, even though they're a pain in the arse, and Facebook is a terrible platform. Anyway. As well as that, we're going to be looking at house shows. In fact, actually, if you guys are watching this or listening on the podcast or watching this on YouTube or wherever, or on Patreon, if you'd like to put on a little house show for myself and Grant Sharkey in the first, in January and February next year, 2025, I'm going to be putting some posts out asking people if they want to host a little show where basically what we do is we just say, we turn up, we don't use PAs, we just start singing songs and playing things. If you do requests, we can make stuff up, we can do whatever you like really, and we ask that people basically cover costs at the start, so we know that it's basically a little mini gig kind of thing that we share between us, and then have a hat go around. We can bring some merch if people want that sort of thing. So it's sort of a little intimate house show where both of us can test out new material and try some weird shit. So if that's something that would be interesting for you guys watching, listening or streaming now, get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. However you want to get in contact with me, I'm open for their ideas before I start offering out to the general public on Facebook in the coming weeks. So there's that to sort out, which was smashing. And also musically speaking, I think I mentioned last week I did a compare show in Bristol, which was a series of really interesting bits and pieces where basically it was right in the middle of that Storm Burt or whatever it was. I discovered that Storm Burt was named by the Irish Met Office. That isn't a joke or a sort of, there's an English Met Office, an Irish Met Office and a Scottish Met Office walk into a bar. They decided to call it Storm Burt, and you know what, it's a weird name, but it sort of was very windy. And I remember after the show, I managed to get on the last train home on a platform filled with South African rugby fans who were lovely, but it was just sort of like one of the trains had been cancelled and there was clearly 2 trains worth of people on that platform, and all of us were looking around in that sort of look of, are we going to have to fight to get on this train, because there's clearly not going to be enough room. And then luckily the train arrived and it was enough for 2 loads of people, so thankfully everyone got seats and it was really, really, really cool. But it was so very windy, and they were literally, at one point we were stuck between Salisbury and Romsey, and we got a nice little message from the train driver who just came over the radio and said, sorry for the delay, we are currently being held up behind a train that's stuck behind a fallen tree. But the driver of that train has very kindly gone out of the train and cleared the tree by hand. So don't say we don't do anything for you. Which, at the point that they told us that, it was about 1 a.m. So I think everyone's sense of humour had completely failed. But quite frankly, we were just glad to get back on the road again. Or just thinking about being stuck on that train has made me yawn. But yeah, the gig itself was absolutely marvellous. A very sort of the old school DIY punk thing. And I was in charge of running the stages, which was fun. And I don't mean that sarcastically. It was, everyone was an absolute sweetheart. I was expecting to be sort of having to sort of be a bit forceful and keep people to time, but everyone, once they were just, if people are told you've got 5 minutes, you've got one more song, then people are happy to work with you because they know they've got other acts they don't want to get in the way of, and it went perfectly to time. A big shout out to Fire Jam for putting the thing on and supporting DIY music in across the West Country, particularly in Bristol and in Plymouth, and Jude and the team did a smashing job with the event, and also lots of love to Manth from All for Jolly, who used to be known as Jolly Roger, and she was helping run the acoustic stage. So I was running the main stage, she was running the acoustic stage, and she had she was not very well, and I had to basically run both stages. But everyone was such sweethearts, and everyone was so lovely that it was absolutely fine. I would just go up, say this is going on, run downstairs to the other one and pass it on. It's absolutely lovely. And oh no, there's no worries about being late. You can always listen again. Sorry, just referring to the chat for the people listening at home with no visuals. Just someone apologising for being late. Never apologise for being late to these streams. You can always listen again. Everyone's always welcome, but it's always good to see you. So welcome to sit down, get comfortable, pour yourself a drink, and we'll crack on. I nearly forgot. I actually, down there apologising for forgetting, but I actually took a nap and woke up and actually forgot that I had a stream to run, because I thought I'd actually just chill out and watch a film, and I realised there's something meant to be gone tonight, that feeling of I left the gas on, realising I was meant to be streaming. So we're just talking about Bristol and the show, but one of the things that was really, really nice actually, and one of the things, this is sort of a crossover between what I was meant to be doing and what I ended up doing. So on my way to Bristol, I decided that I wanted to do some sewing on the train, because I decided that I wanted to create myself, you know, those battle jackets that metal fans has. As a metal fan, I've always sort of liked the idea, but instead of getting a leather one or a metal one, I've got a tweed one, because I'm sad and slightly mental, and so I've got myself the folky equivalent. I've got the badges and such, and my little bee flower that I sewed on, and started to collect. And I got a Jolly Roger patch, as I thought it'd be quite nice to get one of them before the name change and get that. So I'm now collecting patches from other bands, and I did stick on the train my patches on the bottom. Horrible plugging there, but considering some of the terrible adverts you get on streaming sites and podcasts, it's not too bad. I'm basically, for the people again listening on the podcast, I'm holding up my tweed battle jacket, showing off some of the patches, and the one that I really like, which is the one that I sewed, the big massive back patch, again describing some, this is very good radio I know, but there's this marvellous artist called Alex CF, or Alex Chronic Fatigue, at gmail.com. He's on Facebook. I'm going to put the address in the chat. Oh my god, proper streaming lingo now. Right, I'm going to put that in the chat for you lovely people. I will come back to the Jolly Roger name change in just a second. Talking to the chat again. So there's this marvellous image I'm putting up to the camera now, which is this artwork, which is Friendship is Punk, and I love the idea of it, and the drawing's really cool. It's basically a punk fox and a punk rabbit just having a little party on my jacket, and I decided I wanted that. Bought one from Alex CF's account. Does lots of, he's an artist that does a lot of sort of punk related animal mythology kind of stuff, and has some absolutely wonderful artwork. And they've got a book called Raccoon Formed a Band, I think it is. A raccoon starts a band, beg your pardon. These marvellous little paintings, all that style that I quite like, which is sort of very natural but also slightly macabre and stuff like that. And I thought I really, really like the idea of this Friendship is Punk thing. But as someone that's not a punk fan, I mean, I like the ethos of punk, and I respect it as I respect any other genre really. But I'm a metal fan, so what I wanted to do is get a stupid patch of the word metal over punk, and I tried searching for that online, and of course put metal patch in, it just comes up with metal band names. I did find a really nice one which was a load of little rainbows and a unicorn saying death metal, but again, I'm not a massive death metal fan, so I wanted just the word metal. So if you do come across a patch that is just the word metal in weird letters, let me know, because I will buy it off you and stick it on my tweed battle jacket. But the reason I thought I'd tell you about this is not just that I like sewing and sharing you this artist that was recommended by a friend. I met this wonderful lady called Claire on the train. So I literally just sat on the train, got my sewing kit out, and just started sewing. And this woman across the way on the table I was sat on, but just completely easy by accident, just sat with her. She got out a thimble and just said, "You're probably going to need one of those," and it didn't fit over my massive sausage finger. And we just got chatting away about sewing techniques, and it turns out she was from Southampton. She was heading to Bristol with me, so we basically spent the entire journey hanging out together and talking about sewing, knitting, crafting, that kind of thing. And it must have been quite odd for people watching these two people just discussing knitting ideas and sewing ideas, and she was knitting and I was just sewing patches onto this jacket. But it was a wonderful way, which is why I really like travelling on trains. I complained earlier on about being delayed. It is a pain in the arse, but when you can sit and meet a stranger and then just hang out and do all kinds of weird stuff, that you can just have a good time with a complete stranger and learn some stuff. And I need to get I've got a sewing machine that I need repairing, which is over there. That's why I'm pointing at it, sorry. That I need to find out if I can sew, get the thing working again. So she recommended a couple of places for me to check out, which is lovely. So I'm going to go and get my my sewing machine fixed, which is quite nice. Yeah, that was a lovely thing I ended up doing. So what we're going to do to go forward, we're still talking about what I'm working on, because that was sort of halfway between working on and not working on. What I'll do is I'll play you some of the songs that I'm meant to be working on, and then we'll go on to the full-on balls deep into what I ended up doing more than the stuff that I was working on. But before I do, quickly answering Dan's question about Jolly Roger name change. So Jolly Roger, punk pirate band extraordinaire from Cornwall, have changed their name to All for Jolly. They're using all the same social media stuff. You can find them straightforward. They just decided, because of the lineup changes and such, with Kynan and John T leaving and doing their own thing as well, and the fact that Steve and Manth, as well as the new members, have sort of gone for a heavier, slightly different sound. They thought, change things around. If all these changes are happening, it'd be healthier to sort of change the name around a bit. It still has the same sort of look about it, which is quite cool. They've gone for very much the nautical octopus logos and such like that. And you can still buy all the Jolly Roger stuff as well, because I think, they want to sell stock so they don't go bankrupt. Fair enough. So yeah, they've changed their name around, but it's the same kind of show. They're not changing who they are or anything like that. It's not that they're not a German techno band or anything, but just bear in mind, if you're looking around for it, you can find this stuff wherever you find other bands. Generation Rainbows, thank you very much for putting artofalexcf.com on there, which is very, very helpful. It's probably a lot better than Facebook. Facebook is so rubbish. And yes, absolute pants. So, the songs I was working on. I'll do the sketchy thing first, because I mentioned last week that when dealing with fascism, one must change things around and put things on their head. And someone wearing tweed aggressively in a horrible way, I decided to undermine them by using my power for tweed for good. Hence the battle jacket and stuff like that. I do love wearing tweed, and I like traditions and old-fashioned things, but not in a sort of stupid I'm better than you kind of way. So rather than sort of allowing arseholes to take things like that and make it theirs and pretend that they're sort of gatekeeping, I like to sort of tip it on its head and fuck around with it. And one of the ideas that came from it was this idea of the song for Sometimes Always Never, which made it... And I got a sort of chorus together. So this is what I mean. It's sort of more of a little sketch. I won't play the whole thing. I'll just give you an idea of what it's going to be. So there's a lot of hammer, word that rhymes with together. But you'll sort of get the vibe of what I'm going for. And hopefully, when I tested it earlier, my harmonica won't ruin the microphone. Yeah. Sometimes, always, never. Are we gonna get them to plan together? Sometimes, always, never. Da 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 da, they come together. Sometimes, always, never. I love it when the plan comes together. It could be an A-team song in the end, but it doesn't really matter provided you got some friends, yeah? Sometimes, always, never. Sometimes, always, never. Sometimes, always, never. Sometimes, always, never. That's basically the idea I had in my head, because it's one of those things that simple, sometimes, always, never, and that's a reference to a waistcoat wearing, by the way. I think I mentioned it before, that you're meant to have with the 3 buttons. They sometimes do the top button, always do the middle one, never do the bottom one. And turning that into a sort of a bluesy song sound like it would be a bit of fun. So that's the sketch I've got in my head. Like I say, the start of it. Need to put some more words down. I'm trying to work out if I want to go ridiculous and silly with it or actually make it a bit more politically edged. I'm not sure with that where I want to go with it, because it's something I'm quite passionate about, of people ruining things like tweed. I say ruining, lots of people have been arseholes in tweeds for years. Maybe I'm sort of ruining tweed for them. That's a nice angle. I quite like the idea of that. But you know what I mean? It's sort of, it's there. I'm sort of rolling it around. I think there's something with it, but we'll see where we go. Anyway, you get the idea. Just reading the chat. Sounds like something you can collaborate with Funky and the Two Tone Baby. Sorry, that's all I thought about because of the harmonica. Yeah, the little bastard's cornered the market for harmonicas, isn't he? But yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that the two of us used to jam stuff out in little pubs in Kent when I first got to know him years ago. And yeah, it could be a fun little thing. That reminds me of another song I need to dust off and get sorted out called Pufferfish Blues. We were both challenged to write a song about pufferfish, and I took so long to write it that he used up all the good facts about pufferfish on Wikipedia, and that's basically what the song is about from my end, but I still haven't got down to recording it. So I think it might be one of these things I'll once I've got these songs tightened up and sorted out, I'll play a bit of it on this stream and then actually get down to recording it and such like that. So yeah, it's that there was that one. The other thing I was working on, which I'm going to play the entire thing because I've got most of it down and I've got some lyrics in front of me to remind me, but it was the idea of the song that we released, the Sweet Chunks band released last year. Sort of. It's still on Bandcamp actually. You can buy the single of it if you want to, if you really, really want to, or just listen to it over and over again on a record or something. But it was we decided that we wanted to write a sort of festive kind of song, but not in the traditional jingle bells or sleigh bells and that sort of thing. Just a song about the traditional meaning of Christmas, where someone gave their lives for the human race, died, and then hopefully came back to life. And that's what it's called, Come Back. If you haven't heard before, I hope you enjoy it. We normally play it on the piano, but I've been wanting to play it on the acoustic, and I think it still works. Just not the same, and new fads have come and gone, and people just can't seem to move on. You've helped me through, we just fucking miss you. No, so we roll this song. Let me come back, we need you, let me come back. Why did you have to go? My heart is a fucking hole. Let me come back, we need you, let me come back. Take my wife instead. Just stop being fucking dead. Like a honey badger high on drugs. But I guess you've had your moment, and now it's down to us. You were the patron saint of drugs and booze. You lived to win but were born to lose. Well, now you're gone, we must move on. But I won't move on. You're still gone. Whoa. So we'll continue this song. Let me come back, we need you, let me come back. Why did you have to go? The world is a fucking shit show. Let me come back, we need you, let me come back. I'll promise I'll behave. Just rise from the fucking grave. Now, this is the bit where we actually learnt a bit of Latin. And amazingly, it's stuck in my brain, which never happens. And it's Si ludovis, digo tibi me, hominem tum, which means, if you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. Win some, lose some, it's all the same to me. So, Si ludovis, digo tibi me, hominem tum. By the way, if you repeat this over and over again, or play the record too many times, I'm not responsible if you accidentally summon the dead. Feel free to sing along if you want. Si ludovis, sigo tibi me, hominem tum. 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 I should get someone to dress up as Lemmy when we do this live, because then that'd be quite good fun, wouldn't it? We brought back what was gone. Oh, the show must go on. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? Come back, it's zombie Lemmy's come back, it's like Day of the Dead, featuring Motorhead. Lemmy's come back, we've summoned Lemmy's come back, seriously you've got to go. My mum's on her way home, and she doesn't like a mess, no sir. Lemmy's come back, we've got to stop Lemmy come back, he's making an awful mess. Lemmy, no! Lemmy, yes. Lemmy's come back, we've got to stop Lemmy's come back, just like the devil prefect said, aim for the fucking head. Merry Christmas. or as we're now going to call it, Lemmimus. Oh. Wonderful. I love the singing along in the chat of just spades, ace of spades, spades, ace of spades, and then people just going, poor Lily, don't trade her for Lemmy. It's artistic license. Do you guys really think that I could actually succeed in trading my wife for Lemmy? Lily would kick the shit out of me and then trade me for Lemmy. So, it'll all turn out all right. Anyway, let's play a musical interlude quickly to go from part 1 of the programme to part 2. Part 2, what I actually was working on. So this part of the podcast, stream, show, thingamajig, is basically what I ended up doing rather than what I was meant to be doing. So I've been doing lots of stupid things over the last few years, and it's sort of been amplified over the last couple of days anyway, and the last couple of weeks since I've been doing this. Oh, we just got someone mentioning in the chat, welcome to your first post in the chat, by the way, to Mark. Lemmy Christmas. I don't know why I didn't think of Lemmy Christmas. That makes a lot more sense. That's good. Well done. I like that. I sound sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I love a good pun, and that was a good pun. So it's from now on. It's Lemmy Christmas, everybody. Lemmy Christmas to everyone. So what was I actually working on? Well, I have, I mentioned last week, I've been flavouring gin. So I've got some black currants, some blue... black currants, blackberries, and gooseberries. So it's actually, it's still got a couple of weeks. Oh, that's fun. That's going to be dangerous. I mean, that's drinkable now. Oh, I've just taken a sip of my my blueberries, and that tastes fantastic. I mean, Lily, the good lady riding instructor, her indoors, and I were chatting about whether we're going to give these away as Christmas presents or just drink them ourselves. And then we realised what our tradition on Christmas Day is port and Baileys. Other Irish creams are, of course, available, but unavailable. I have to make them myself anyway because they don't do a vegan version. In fact, what I'm going to do on the Fizzy Brain stream before Christmas, I will show you how I make my own vegan Baileys. Because why not? Let's do a Blue Peter style make. I'll tell you the ingredients the show before, and we'll make it together. But yeah, so we've got plenty of booze for Christmas, and so that's going to be saved for New Year's. I've got some guests coming down. A very friendly Viking friend of mine, Nick, is coming down to join us, and I think we're going to be drinking a lot of my newly made gin. So that's going to be absolutely lovely. So I've been working on that. Just looking at the brain chili. What the made you do bit? Sorry, I'm just reading the chat and there's a message I didn't quite understand. That's the first time I've spotted the reference to the Devil's Prefect shoot him in the head. That isn't the last song we played. Yes, quite right. It's all right. Predictive text can be a pain in the backside, but sorry. In reference to us being a Blue Peter's can we get a blue Aubrey badge after we make it? Spicy Brain. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. What the Spicy Brain made you do bit. Yes, this is the yes. That is a much better way of calling this section. Well, actually, you know what? Let's redo that. Generation Rainbows came up with a wonderful name for that, so we're going to do that again. Part 2. What my spicy brain made me do. So yes, I've been brewing gin, and other such lovely things. And yes, you know what? I think if we can find a way of doing it, we need to get blue Aubrey badges for people that make stuff. I've got a badge maker. Fuck it. I am making blue Aubrey badges. And if we build stuff together, I'm going to find a way of getting it out to you. If you send me pitch, oh fuck, that's what we're doing in the future. Oh my God. Right, okay, so in the future, if we make something together, take a photograph of it, send it to me, and I'll send you a blue Aubrey badge. But of course, if you do send in entries in, they will all be looked at. But unfortunately, we can't send them all back. Unfortunately, oh, we started something, haven't we, chat? I think. Oh dear. You know what? That's what these things are great for. So we're going to start making stuff Blue Peter style, and we'll have a blue Aubrey badge. Generation Rainbows. I did not come up with calling our brand Spicy Brains, but glad you take credit. Yeah, I've heard it referred to by many people before. It's a great terminology. I do like the phrase of it, which is why I nicked it for the name of the stream. But yeah, it's a great terminology. Oh yes, if you're having a drink, if you if you have a drink in your hand, raise it up and put it in your face. So, yes, so what have I been up to? Been making gin. Oh, I keep looking at the wrong camera, beg your pardon. If you're listening on audio, it doesn't make a bloody bit of difference, but just want you to know that I'm still cocking this up in its own special way. So, I'm meant to be, I've been working on costumes and such, I've mentioned before, and we'll talk a bit more about it in the background. If I just turn my camera around to face the back. Number one, you can see my streaming chair stuck in here. I'm actually on my desk chair. That's why you can hear creaking, because I want to be comfortable. This is the comfortable chilling out stream. This is the storytelling stream chair. And the reason it's still in here is because we realised there's a load of space now. We could put the Christmas tree up later. And to put the comfy chair back into the lounge means I have to take all the legs off. And quite frankly, I can't be arsed, especially if I'm going to have to bring it back in to bring the Christmas tree in. So out of laziness, it's still here. Anyway, so the camera is now looking at the chair. You also may notice that I've, this is one of the things that I did during the week as well. I put massive googly eyes on my Marshall amplifier because I am easily distracted. But up on the shelf, we've got a selection of bits that I've been working on. So what I've got, I'll just raise my voice slightly. Up here we've got my pigeon harpy thing that I've been working on. And that's to do with the contact lenses I was mentioning. So I got myself some contact lenses because I was trying to try the different colours and see how it works. And my next video that I'm meant to be recording about the making of the pigeon that I can send off and put together and put that out on my YouTube thing. I've never put contact lenses in before. So I've been trying to learn how to do it. Lily wears glasses, so she's never put contact lenses in. So it's basically me being a completely stupid person and trying to get them in so many different ways and pulling my eyes open to get these contact lenses in, and I dropped one in the toilet. I didn't pick it up and try to put it in because I knew that was a stupid idea. So then I tried to get the other one in, and then I dropped that in the toilet. And then when I tried flushing the contact lenses away, they stuck to the side of the bowl, so I had these weird googly eye things looking up at me from the toilet whenever I went to the loo, which was rather disconcerting. I do have another set of contact lenses that I want to try out, that are yellow ones, to go with the costume, but this time I'm going to speak to my friend Kaz, and I'm going to ask her to show me how to use them so I don't just stab myself in the face or lose them down the toilet again, considering how bloody expensive that was. So I ended up with red watery eyes, and when Lily came back from work, she was just looking, going, why are your eyes red? It's like, because I was trying to stuff contact lenses in my face and I flushed them down the toilet. But what I've got, other things that we're talking about, I mentioned a little bit before on some other streams, as well as my googly-eyed amplifier. I've been trying to work out what to do with my sock puppet dragons. Now, for some of my Woodland Gothic shows, I've been asking the audience to build me an army worthy of Mordor. No, but they've been building me dragon puppets worthy of Mordor, using again the Blue Peter thing. I should get Blue Aubrey badges for those people as well. Clearly, it's all coming into place now. So I have to make Blue Aubrey badges, and then people who make these for me will be given Blue Aubrey badges. So what I'm going to do, in fact, let's bring the camera closer for you lovely streamers, and I'm going to describe it for you lovely people watch. The cable's stuck on the floor. I can't bring the thing closer, and the light's not on. I'm really good at this. Let's take the camera off the mount. Bear with me. Apologies for the noise. There we go. Right, so because I didn't want to pick them up, because every time I pick them up I drop them and things fall off because they're very fragile. So we've got our selection of. This is Clem Fandango, who is the chlamydia dragon. These are all named by the audiences, by the way, not by me. Not that I'm complaining. Clem Fandango, the chlamydia dragon, was great, but I've basically given him a bit of a ruff on there, silvery ruff with some cord, and he's got a massive one eye. He's got a billion eyes on him, but there was so much stuff going on that it kept falling apart. It was very fragile, so some of that stuff I've sort of thrown away. Well, not thrown away, I've recycled to use for other ones. But I've kept him. I didn't want to throw him away. I've got this one here is Champion, who is made with a white Champion sock with lovely little bits of dragon scales down the side, and another way of doing googly eyes, which I quite like. And this is Evan, who is our most recent dragon, who actually was the flying dragon. I think there's some videos with this. He was created in London, and so he's been doing rather well. So we've got a nice selection of these dragons, and I've created a little dragon home for them, which lives up there. And so the more dragons we create in the future, I think we're going to have to. Well, I think I'm gonna keep them, because I've got these shelves here. I've got all the bee stuff, but yeah, I forgot to mention on the top shelf it's just loads of bee paraphernalia for those of you who are listening, because people send me loads of bees. In fact, actually, I'll show you one of them. One of my favourites is, and I love all of these things because a lot of these things are handmade, but someone has made a Salvador Dali. Like if you're a fan of the Sweet Chunks band, think of the bee on the Bees Are Fucking Awesome t-shirt, and someone has actually made him three-dimensionally with wool and such. He's got a little top hat, he's got a little moustache and a beard, and he is one of my favourite things, and he lives on that shelf. And so yeah, I do love these little things that get sent to me. So I've got plenty of those bees. I'm going to start adding more of the sock puppets and various other things, and the things I make as well, because I've got this lovely fox masks that I've been freaking people out. Yes, so that's been going on. I'm just going to quickly check on the chat, because you chaps have been saying wonderful things and I've forgotten. So, make your very own Aubrey at home with just 427 toilet roll middles and some sticky back plastic. Yeah, I was always disappointed by the lack of people using the toilet roll tubes that I supply to people. But, you know, let's... I think we need to get people making more stuff with toilet roll tubes. So, more sock puppet dragons, googly eye app. Contact lenses, they suck. I use them for costume purposes. I like I said, I was terrible with them, so I need to sort them out. So instead of a ship, what would you have as your emblem for the blue Aubrey? That's a smashing question. I need to have a think about that. I tell you what, you guys have a think, and while we're going through this, if you can think of what kind of thing I should use instead of the boat for the blue Aubrey, and we'll come up with something that's predominantly blue. Because you could use a bee, but I think we need something that we like that would work rather well with that. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Evan was a black Jeep sock with red and a red and yellow spine. Yeah, I think one of them has gone missing. I have to dig them out because there's some other bits found. Those ones that I repaired, because they're lovely, but they are fragile. I'll see if I can find Evan. Because we are one dragon short. I will find him. Where are we? Right. I think we got up to date. So what other things? We've been talking about met the lovely Lady Claire. We've been saying putting up shells, sock puppets. That's it, actually. I just realised that is actually everything I've been working on. Okay then, fine, right. So, and I've been nattering on for about 45 minutes anyway. So I think this is a good point to sort of leave it. We'll have a little our usual thing. For the streamers, we'll have a little chat with us in the chat. And I'll tell you what we'll do is, after we finish up here, I will talk with the guys in the chat and see if we can come up with some ideas for what the blue Aubrey badge will be, because I think that we need to nail that idea down. If you're listening to this on demand or the podcast version and you get some ideas for the blue Aubrey badge, send them across to me. give me a message, because I may not have decided yet. I think it has to be something good. So we'll have a little think. We won't finalise it today, but if you have an idea of what I'm going to do for my crafting the Blue Peter badge, but the Blue Aubrey badge for when people make sock puppets or tiny bees, or when we make illicit booze later on in the year for a Christmas, we need something to celebrate crafting. So we'll have a chat about that. Send me your ideas on the back of a postcard. Okay, so the housekeeping. So coming up, like I said, on the that's already happened. That's the old stuff. What's going on there? No, that's last month. We're looking at the wrong dates. What's going on here? This is rubbish. What have I done there? Where have my dates gone? Well, that's irritating. All of my dates have gone missing. So I've got to try and do it from memory, and I have a terrible memory. That's why I. Can it be any illicit booze, or does it have to be my illicit booze? It could be any booze that we're making, really. So, where was I? Right, coming up, shows. I've got, at the end of this week, I am playing at the Hobbit in Southampton as part of the Give a Gift Southampton, where we're raising money to get kids in Southampton presents and such. So it's sort of like a food bank, but for toys and such. If you want to come along, if you're in the Southampton area, do come along. If you want to bring a present, feel free. It has to be in an unopened package. It has to be new and not wrapped, because they have to sort of check it before they send it across to kids. It's just to make sure that it's not shit. I don't think they're actually worried about people putting bombs in and giving it to kids. They're worried about it being terrible. So that is at the Hobbit on Saturday. This Saturday, the 30th. Next week, I'll tell you what. There's no point doing loads of those telling what's going on, because we'll be back next week. So we'll just talk about that's what's going on this week. Anyway, so yes, next stream will be next Tuesday. Where we'll see what else we're going on. We'll see if we can agree on what badge we're going to use in that week. That's our homework. So have a think, give me a message, and hopefully by the next stream we shall have some ideas of what we're going to do. And then Monday, the 23rd of December, is going to be Aubrey Storytime Christmas stream. That's where we're going to do. We're going to make some vegan Baileys. If you don't want to make vegan Baileys and just drink Baileys as I'm making it, feel free. In fact, whenever I say the word cream or Baileys, drink. And if you do join in, that's when we're going to premiere the Blue Aubrey badge. I'll make some up, because by then we should have enough time to choose the design. I'll make it, and if you make it at home, send me some pictures, and then I'll send those badges out to you, because I love the idea of this. So that's the 23rd of December. And if you're in Southampton on the 24th, I'm going to do a live show. So there's lots of time to prepare for that. So find me on the usual places: Blue Sky, Threads, fuck Twitter in the face. There's Faceache, Instagram, Bandcamp, all the social medias. Search for Aubrey Blakeledge or the Sweet Chunks Band. You can also find me on Bandcamp and Spotify as Aubrey Blakeledge, but you can find me on Spotify particularly as the Sweet Chunks Band. If you use Spotify, do give us a follow, because it all helps and such. If you want to get more tasty delights and other such things, and access to downloads of this stream or other such bits and pieces, please consider joining us on Patreon. We have a free stream on there. A free tier where I basically update a lot of the material I've put on other social medias, so it's easy to get hold of, it's easy to get updates, and also tell you when shows are open and such. And if you want to give me some money, there are extra bonuses and such, and that kind of thing as well. So please give it a consider, or just enjoy the stream, and we'll see you at a gig some point. For those listening on the podcast on YouTube or whatever, consider joining us on Twitch, because we talk bollocks in the chat after this show, and it's where all the cool kids hang out. So come and join us. So that's it. I think that's enough for today's show. Tonight's show. Thank you very much for downloading, tuning in, streaming, however you're listening. Love you all very much. If you have a drink in your hand, raise it up and put it in your face, and I will see you next time I see you. Thank you and good night. Oh, lovely.